Hello everyone, Cappuccino here. So today we'll be looking at the half anniversary celebration, which just started today. With you can probably get the free dolls and everything already, but I'm gonna go over it like real quick. And we'll be looking at the future of the Rigorize rolls, including the crystal, the Limit Break crystal, and the selector ticket that's gonna come later when our hit the scenarios. But for now, we are going to go over this really fast. So let's get right into it. Do you want to buy more carrots to be played for the new content? I've got something awesome to share with you. Lootbar is the most affordable and safest carrot trading platform I've been using lately. Here's the deal. Lootbar offers prices 11% cheaper than the official store, and new users get an extra 10% for a total of 21% discount. For example, this carrot amount cost me $69.99 official, but only $54.70 on Lootbar with immediate delivery of your carrot. Lootbar is trusted by thousands of users and has a 4.9 rating on Trustpilot, backed up by a lot of good reviews. Furthermore, they also provide a 7-day refund guarantee. Sign up through my link in the description to start saving today. Okay, so for the part one that we got like a new home screen, we got a story, like special story that opens every day, every other day actually. And then we have login bonus. That's the usual. I'm not gonna go over too much details. Like the only thing I talk about is like this one right here, right? Because we get a single free rolls on the Uma's banner right up right now until November 6th, and then after November 6th, this is the estimated date of when the recos will be released. By the way, so if everything goes to plan according to the schedule. But we have to look at the schedule again in the start of November. But if everything goes according to this, we're gonna get 100 rolls on Rigorize banner, which make the Rigorize banner more worthy to spark because you use less crystal now. Yeah, I will talk about the details later. And yeah, so take a look out for the next month's schedule. The missions got some free rewards and everything. And the mission is like the part 1 though. For part 2 and part 3, we're gonna get a selector. And a limit break crystal is going to be implemented later on part 2 and part 3. And in today's video we're going to be talking about what you should do with the limit break crystal too, and what are your choices. Do so. Daily shop update. This is a great help, by the way. Like some sachets, you have to grind them because there's no way to buy them like really. So pretty good. A new pieces for you to buy. Yeah, this is a new Uma's pieces it's getting. And yeah, that's about it for the first part. So let's talk about the gacha a little bit more. So I forgot to mention about the Leo Cup that's coming in around the 3rd November. Say early November, but it's not the 3rd November. The thing is, Aoharu is gonna might come before like Leo Cup happens. So you like if it comes on November 1st, for example, you have 1 or 2 days before Leo Cup started, and then you're forced to train your Leo Cup comp a second time on Aoharu to compete with the others, which is really funny. I don't know why they do this, but yeah, it's the same thing as they release the Summer Marsensky 1 day before the finals of the Cancer Cup. I don't know why they do this, but keep that in mind. So look out for the release date of Aoharu. But yeah, if it like release at that time, you're probably gonna be running around doing Leo Cup again. So it's for the 100 rolls. So in Rigorize banner, we've got 100 rolls for free. Right? The thing is, even if you are a Rigorize roller, you're probably gonna be so glad right now because like you're gonna spend less money. But if you're not planning to roll Rigorize, what should you do? And why you should? Or the more important question is, should you roll Rigorize after this 300 rolls? For me personally, the answer is actually yes, but there's a condition. So you want to get all the free rolls out first and see what you get before actually rolling. Don't roll straight away if you value your crystal and you're not sure if you should roll Rigorize or not. Just be patient, wait a little bit, wait for all the free rolls to be out, And after you got your 100 rolls out and you see the result, if you get 2 regos, like if you maybe you get regos up to 40, maybe you get rise up to 40, and you get like 1 regos or something. If you get more than 2 of each, definitely go for it. If you get like level 40 regos, level 40 rise, right? If you got both of them, spark for it, and you're gonna be like in a really good spot for 4 months. That's gonna be coming in Aoharu high. But for example, if you don't get anything, like in 100 rolls you get a single rego, like you don't get any rise, you just have a level 30 regos, just take it and leave at that point. Like you get the point, right? Because like even if you go up to 200, there's not much chance that you're gonna win the gacha, and you're not gonna improve too much on the values that you get. So just watch all the free rolls first, and then you move on to deciding if you want to roll or not. This is what I would advise you, right? For night stager rollers, like if you're looking for rolling the night stager in, you probably want to skip the whole thing because you're probably running out of gems already. But yeah, you get a good night stager. And then some people without Kirisame Black, right? For example, you don't have Kirisame Black of your own, or your Kirisame Black that you sparked earlier doesn't have like 3 limit break yet. You should definitely skip regos and go for the rerun banner instead. This is a rerun banner, and the rate up goes from 0.5 to 0.75 now, so there's more chance for you to get like Kirisame Black. Yep, and that's about it. Yeah, this is the problem that we have is like night stager lower. If you roll night stager, you probably want to skip, or if you don't have a good Kirisame Black, you probably want to roll this Kirisame Black rerun instead, right? Another problem is the characters banner. So in Aoharu, we're gonna get Asian Flash, right? And the things after this, someone probably want Agnes Digital because they like her. She's a very good Uma as well in general, or Manhattan Cafe, or Major Dober, or Great Christmas gonna be a little bit long. Probably it's gonna take a bit of time before she came, but if you're low on gems, maybe you want to save, you will skip regos. This is what I recommended you do. Feel free to consult my previous video on low panning that I made earlier last month. If you really need the help, you can also comment in the description. I'll try to answer as best as I can. Okay, so the next thing we're going to be talking about is your crystal and selector. For your information, the selector will not be including the night stager, but you can get all the support card before that. Okay, so just keep that in mind. But for the crystal, you can use it on whatever cards you want, including the cards in the future. Okay, so I want to get that fact straight first. Okay, then move on to the choices. The first choice that I would do is depends on your Kirisame Black. For example, you have a 40 Kirisame Black, a 2 limit break Kirisame Black, right? Like everyone knows that Kirisame Black power spike is coming from 3 limit break, level 45 and level 50. So if you have a 2 limit break Kirisame Black, you definitely want to use Kirisame Black is probably the best choice for you to go with a 3 limit break or 4 limit break. If you're not planning to roll her rerun banner, maybe you want to roll anything else. Maybe you want to roll the Umas. Maybe you want to save your gem for another Umas. You don't want to roll Kirisame Black, but you got a 40 Kirisame Black in your pocket. You can just use a selector or use a crystal to get her to the max limit break, so you can skip the whole banner and you get a good Kirisame Black too. This is the condition, or like Kirisame Black is my first choice when it's come to using crystal or selector, but just make sure you think about the condition. Also, next is gonna be fire motion. Why do I think fire motion is very good? Fire motion is gonna be one of the best in card in Aoharu. And if, for example, if you have her at 45 when you go to 50, your in recovery go from 4 to 5, which is a lot for an in card, especially when you spam her recoveries on in training in Aoharu. This make a lot of difference in the long term, and you also get a little bit of mood effect too. But yeah, but the main thing is this with recovery, so prioritize maxing your fire motion. The next one is Baiko Pegasus. But if you have a fire motion on 35, 40, you might also want to look at the other options before going upward, because fire motion power spike start from 40. So if you have a 35 fire motion, you can upgrade to 40 or 45. Like, fire motion investment never hurt you, so feel free to get your fire motion up if you're like near max speed break. But if you're not near max speed break, I just recommend it to like just save the crystal or use the selector on other things instead. Okay, next up is Baiko Pegasus. Baiko Pegasus, I also recommend it from 3 to 4 actually. 3 to 4 Baiko is... The thing about 3 to 4 Baiko is the initial friendship gauge. She feel like a lot faster with 30% friendship gauge, and you can use her more reliably on other scenarios. Even in Aoharu High, you can use her because of her high training effectiveness. Like, training effectiveness is gonna be meta in Aoharu High because of how wide the training selection is. You don't just train speed, you don't just train stamina, you train in everything including int, and wherever the team Aoharu Explosion guides you to. So this initial friendship gauge and the training effectiveness is gonna be very valuable to the deck, and she can be used for a long time, but she's a good stat stick. My next choice will be Buckshin actually. Buckshin from 3 to 4. Not 3 to 4, 2 to 3, sorry. Okay, 2 to 3 Buckshin. What's good about 2 to 3 Buckshin? The thing is, you get 5% training effectiveness. As I said earlier, it's important in Aoharu that you have a little bit of training effectiveness like amped into your cards, and this helps Sakura Buckshin hold her ground in Aoharu. For example, if you have a 40 Buckshin lying around, like you already maxed your Kirisame Black, you just want more speed cards so your deck can be more consistent. A Buckshin is a 40 Buckshin to 45 Buckshin is pretty good. Just for your information, the limit breaks that I don't mention or I don't list it in this video means that I don't really recommend going from it. For example, I don't recommend going from 0 limit break Buckshin to 1 limit break Buckshin. Right? I only speaking of the case where you got level 40 already and you want to go to 45 and why. So as long as you understand that, like, you're probably not gonna use dual crystal or selector on the wrong things. Okay, so after Baiko, after Buckshin, right, we can go back to fire motion just for a little bit. 1, 2, and 3 fire motion, right? Each step like give you different things, but mainly when you go for 1 limit break to 2 limit breaks, it go up from 3 to 4 recovery. This is the same values as the SR, and yeah, as I said earlier, it's pretty good in general. And then when you go from 40 to 45, you did get a mode effect up. This doesn't do as much as the 1 to 2 or 3 to 4, but it's a good investment as I said earlier, and it does a little bit of a boost. So fire motion is gonna be one of the top pick for me too. And then this is a weird choice, but I think it's valuable, especially if you don't plan to low recalls. You have Tatsuna from 1 to 2. Okay, that if you happen to have a 35 Tatsuna, going from 35 to 40, you're going to get 5% training effectiveness. It's the same case as the Buckshin earlier. It's more training effectiveness. And Tatsuna is one of the support card that give you the most stamina. The most energy, I mean, not stamina. The most energy to train with, and the reduced cost reduction, reduced energy cost reduction is pretty good in Aoharu, especially if you don't use Rigo. If you use Rigo, you're probably not gonna use Tatsuna, But there's some cases where you don't need that much stamina stat as what Rico give you. You just go Tasuna and get the energy for training, including the training effectiveness. So Tasuna investment can be good on Aoharu, but she don't last really long. Everyone stopped using her on Make a New Track because Make a New Track doesn't train at all, so you just go to race non-stop. So it's a short-term investment, so I don't really recommend it, but it is a choice for anyone who don't plan to use Rico. Okay, next choice, Creek. I only recommended Creek on 2 to 3 and 3 to 4. Okay, the things about this is, first off, 3 to 4. The good thing is the initial friendship gauge. It's going up from 0 to 15 and 15 to 30. Like this again, like the same case at Bico Pegasus, this thing helps a lot when you're trying to train. Most of you guys that doesn't really train effectively or you don't get lucky enough, like your creek's not gonna be rainbowable until like 3rd year. Like if you are lucky. If you're lucky, you might get it like at the end of 1st year. But yeah, this makes everything more consistent. You also get a little bit of training effectiveness up. But yeah, mainly you want the initial gauge. Like this one is pretty important. And Creek is a long-term investment, so you still use her in Make a New Track because of her race 10% race bonus can be usable. And if you need, and you kind of always need a maestro. Like even if the rise kind of replaces her in terms of maestro, you're probably gonna still use her for Creek in outside of Aoharu later on because of her maestro. It's one of the best stamina recovery skill in the game. So Creek investment, 5 motion investment, Kirisame Black and skill investment, not gonna hurt you at all. And yeah, those are the choices I recommended you using the selector or your crystals on. And for those who doesn't have the choice that I recommended, you can either save the crystal for the next support card that you might be aiming for, or just save it until the next hero cards that you're lacking. But yeah, I would really recommend like saving the ticket. Not the ticket is like they are not changing the ticket, so you can just use the ticket right now for whatever the uncap you want. But the crystal you can be saved for a long time because you can use on any card. And yeah, that's about it for my recommendation for this video. Yeah, if you have any question, drop it down in the comment section below. Leave a like if you enjoy it and you want more videos, and subscribe if you haven't done that yet. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.